Anyway, speaking of college, we just had a draft. Now, I'm not interested in doing a fucking deep dive into each player that was drafted and what rounds, what teams did great. Let's just talk about the obvious shit. What stood out to you guys?
See, I'm going to lead with this too because, I mean, you should already know what I'm going to say. If you paid any attention to my
Niner
Twitter
fan.
today, if you paid any attention to any of my shows, which, EJ doesn't because he doesn't understand technology,
Podcast.
um,
Lack of
we,
podcast.
we've been over this. You're old, you're silly. At this point, you're just a hater. I mean, go eat some crinkle fries for Christ's sake. Anyways.
Oh, no.
Do you even eat, bro? Anyways, no.
Yeah. Steak fries.
But for weeks, I've been trying to tell y'all fools that Mac Jones was a damn smokescreen. What can I say except you're welcome? Now, if you want to know my secret step-by-step plan of how exactly it was I found this out, I would encourage you to go to the 3pointconversion.com, the number 3, not the word 3, and read my article about it, where I put down the things that made me say, there is no way that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan would be a party to drafting Mac Jones, especially after moving up to number 3 the way they did. And just watching that come to fruition was fantastic for me. Also, as a side note, as somebody who covers UCF football, the UCF, as little credit as they get, but being better than most ACC teams out there, not named Clemson, had the most draftees in their current history in a draft. So, yeah. And oh, by the way, there's Gus Malzahn getting transfers left, right, and everything upgrading, and it's going to be very interesting to see upcoming. But that if you're looking for teams that you think did pretty well, I know Miami Dolphin fans are bitching about things because that's what Miami Dolphin fans do.
They are.
I kind of like their draft. I don't know so much about after the first round, but I was a little shocked to see the Detroit Lions with Dan Campbell making a very competent first round
Campbell.
Penei Sewell. What's that?
Man Campbell.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Just don't bite my kneecaps. And yeah, there was. I don't feel like anybody had a colossally horrible draft, other than maybe the Colts. I loved Parsons with the pick with the Cowboys. I know there's some maturity risks there and things like that people want to complain and nitpick about. But you get a guy like that falls to you the way he did, you pick him. And just all there is to it.
Yeah, and I mean, because I've asked a lot of my friends, because obviously being in Central Pennsylvania, I have a lot of friends, Penn State fans. And, the questionable, whatever you want to call it, history with him seemed to be more when he was even back in high school.
Yeah.
Like, I don't exactly. So, he went through his time at Penn State, seemed to be a pretty good leader there and was a pretty standout player at his time, in a position at that university that is, obviously always highlighted. So I'm not overly concerned. And I think, over the last couple of years, the Cowboys have brought in some people with questionable disciplinary issues over the last 5-10 years. And I think they've done a really, really pretty decent job. What was his name? Was it Greg? Was it Lloyd?
Greg Lloyd.
Greg Lloyd.
Was Randy Gregory also too another one?
But like Gregory didn't have any issues in Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, they got control of Dez. So I think they've created a culture in Dallas, regardless of what a lot of people want you to believe, that kind of can handle things and handle people and keep guys in check. And I think they've done a really good job there. And so I like the pick. You're looking over the Cowboys, you draft almost an entirely defense packed draft, with the exception of one offensive lineman and one wide receiver. You look at the Cowboys last year, not disregard the fact that your quarterback's ankle exploded. The offense,
Yeah.
The offense was going to be fine. You need to work on the O-line, which, I mean, you're not going to rebuild an O-line in one draft. So
right.
The defense is something that was clearly and has clearly been the issue in Dallas, and I like what they did overall as well.
How odd was it to see two teams that not just hate each other, they're bitter rivals in the Cowboys and Eagles do business.
Yeah, that one was weird because
Weird.
So we were obviously I was live on 3 Count Thursday.
Yeah, you gave
during
zero
the
fucks about the
during
draft
the
on
first
Thursday.
round of the draft, and two of the guys on the show are Eagles fans. I'm obviously a Cowboys fan, so we actually had a ticker box. Tim,
Yeah, I saw that. It was great.
who runs our overlay for the show, he actually had a draft ticker box that he updated in real time.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and so we're all kind of paying attention, and it's like, oh shit, the Cowboys are up. What are they going to do? How are they going to screw this up? Because I still get nervous to this day, even though over the last few years that they really have done a pretty decent job with the draft.
Yeah.
But I still get nervous. You get smacked enough time with the newspaper, you tend to wince when somebody picks it up. So I was getting nervous. Then they're like, they traded with the Eagles. We're like, what just happened? But no, I thought, you make a deal, you still get a guy that you could have had at the spot you traded back from. Plus you had another pick later on. The Eagles got a guy they wanted who is at a position they desperately needed to upgrade in.
Oh, yes.
And they kept, because really, if you think about it, that's probably a guy the Giants would have been looking at as well at that, at the, at a spot coming up. And, so.
Yeah, because we were actually a spot behind Philadelphia. We were
because that's right. Because then they traded that to the Bears. So you don't want the Giants to get him. You sometimes you have to make a deal. Business overrides rivalry sometimes.
It's funny because 10 through 12 was Eagles, Giants, Cowboys in that order, I believe, or some of that nature. Or was it Cowboys, Giants,
it was
Eagles?
Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and then the Cowboys swap.
Right.
Fucking weird.
Hey, all I'll say is this, gentlemen. Here's the conspiracy theory. The Cowboys were giving the subtlest of winks to the Eagles for screwing the Giants over in that final game. They'd be like, hey, good job. Let's do some business, and all I know is at the end of the day, were the Patriots in the playoffs, EJ would have loved to see it happen because that would be the most dangerous team removed from the docket for him as a Patriots fan. So, yep, still not old for the record. By the way,
no, not old. No,
I'd hate to say this, but I just felt like a quarterback was going to drop to the Pats in this draft. Did not think it would be Mac Jones. Very surprised that the Niners went Trey Lance instead of Justin Fields. I just knew it wasn't going to be Mac Jones.
As a Niner fan?
I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it because, see, the thing that was so beautiful about it is they told people, hey, we're not trading Jimmy G. They did that in the public to settle Jimmy G down. Now, you and I have done plenty of shows together back when the Student the Game Report was still a thing on Earnestly Speaking Media on a weekly occurrence back in 2015, where you and I were trading blows on different sides for Russell Wilson. That's still weird. But
oh fuck yeah.
but
he's come around that, Jim, for the record.
Yeah. Now you're the one not giving him respect for 2019's MVP.
Oh, stop.
Anyway.
Stop.
No, but
yeah, exactly.
I didn't even bring up 2017. I'm just saying.
We're still doing that, dude. Look, I thought we settled that already.
Yeah, I'm right and you're wrong. Next, moving on. You walked right into that. What, in fact, did you think was going to happen?
The never-ending fucking banter here.
I'm just sitting here on my popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh, is there still some left?
No, in fact, it's been a while since I went and got some from the local movie theater. I will walk past popcorn in the grocery store. Damn it, I gotta go to the fucking movie theater. Keep forgetting. So one of the days this week, I'm gonna make it out there, and I'm gonna have my big ass. You guys will get a picture and a text. I'll have my big ass bag of popcorn.
I love that picture and text.
Yeah,
it still amazes me.
It's so good, and my whole upstairs will smell like movie theater popcorn for like a few days while the bag's still fresh and just newly popped. Oh, it's amazing.
I'm gonna file that under not an issue.
Me, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You just walk in, you just get that buttery smell hitting you in the face. It's wonderful.
I kicked my ass with tangents. What were we talking about, EJ?
Oh no, we kind of
Trey Lance, wasn't it? Were we talking about the Niners?
Yes, thank you. I was very surprised the Niners didn't take Fields, but it worked out nicely because they were able to say publicly, for Jimmy G's sake, hey, we're not moving off you. Now, you and I have heard plenty of franchises say, yeah, you're our guy, and then unceremoniously kick him out the door by the end of the offseason. Happens for coaches too, right, Jason Garrett? Anyways.
Ooh.
No,
he's gone, baby. As long as he's gone.
He's still New York, right? He's still New York.
Yeah, he's your OC.
I don't know if that was a shot or a statement of fact. Can it be both?
Sure, it's both.
But with Trey Lance involved, they were able to stay true to Jimmy G on that. I mean, people keep forgetting he was leading Patrick LeVon Mahomes II and company in a Super Bowl for 3.5 quarters and was one throw short of getting him back in that game. People forget about that. But over and above that, his win-loss record, I think he's 22-8. Honestly, it's his injury history that's the biggest problem. Well, if you have a backup in the wings with an excellent support staff, one of the best O-lines in the league. I'm not going to say they're top 5, but they're certainly top 10.
I'll say for you.
Oh, okay. But really the only thing I didn't like that the Niners did in the draft overall was getting a running back in the 3rd round. But I mean, I'm not going to start fires over it, speaking of Philly fans. But the thing that I found most surprising and I really enjoyed in the 1st round over everything else is the Bears, as much as I love to make fun of them, putting John Lynch on the map as a GM with that Trubisky trade. I loved what they did to go and get Justin Fields. And Justin Fields has the upside high enough, granted the bar is low, to be literally the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history.
Well, no, the bar is set low, first off, but yeah, you're right.
Did you not say bar set low? That was the lead.
Shout out to G Steelio, of course. What's up, buddy? Real quick, though. Explain to me why Justin Fields' stock dropped.
I'm speculating, but it's the paralysis by analysis, right? People watched bowl games and made too many. I shouldn't say past tense. People watch bowl games and make too many assumptions, decisions based on it anyway. Then it's magnified by the fact that you had so much less football. Then you were like, everyone who was in the community was starved for damn football because so many people thought it wasn't going to happen. Indiana was good, for Christ's sake. That's how crazy things got, okay?
I knew that, yeah.
So to see Justin Fields and company compete with teams like Indiana and struggle, Northwestern and struggle, the fact that their conference really wasn't as good as it normally is and could be, and they still struggled, air quotes, that I think is what hurt him more than anything else. Same way that Zach Wilson, nobody's talking about it, but Zach Wilson got a butt ton of stock from that bowl game where they crushed UCF with basically all their starters missing on defense. And stop to forget about the fact that he hasn't beaten a team that's ranked or a real threat. Even Coastal Carolina beat him. Not that I'm saying Coastal Carolina was a bad team, but...
No, but, I mean, everybody got wrapped up into, the Chanticleers and the story and them doing WWE celebration in the locker room to forget that they're not, in a normal year, they're probably not a top 15, top 12 team.
Certainly not.
And if there's a whiff, so to speak, like I don't know that I don't know what Zach Wilson is, but like to me that felt like a quote unquote typical Jets pick.
Yes,
like,
it did.
Like there were so many better options at the quarterback position, and I think they made a mistake there.
They're stupid. That is stupid. The Jets are stupid. Can we just call it a day? They're fucking stupid.
Like, I mean, everybody wants to look at the Browns, and like when we were talking about teams that like had what I thought were pretty damn good drafts, this ain't the same old Browns that we've loved to take shots at for years and years and years. Like, will it turn into them being a Super Bowl contender this year? I don't know. I still have mixed feelings. I still think unbelievable. Like, I mean, believably, unbelievably, whatever side of the argument you're on, I think their weakest point is still number 6.
Correct.
Like that's still their weakest point. Is he the worst quarterback in football? No, but like I still don't know if he's that guy, but he may not need to be that guy if you look at the rest of that team on both sides of the ball. But like with Justin Fields, to that point, EJ, like, yeah, the Big Ten was dramatically weaker than it normally is. And it hasn't been overly strong for a couple of years, but it was even worse this year. And I mean, I think a good bit of that had to do with COVID and the Big Ten's parameters as it came to the pandemic were much more strict than a lot of conferences were. If you tested positive or whatever, you were out for definitely 3 weeks, and you had to clear certain things and this and that. So like, that Indiana game with Ohio State, I think they were missing like half their offense or something. So like it just, everything got magnified in a year when everybody was watching because we're all home and we have nothing else to do with our lives and all of that. And I think
true.
too, right, wrong, or indifferent, because I've had debates with people from other podcasts on Twitter about this. There is a stink when it comes to Ohio State in the quarterback position.
Fair.
Yeah, very fair.
Whether justified or not. And I'm not here to say one way or the other, but there is a stink there. And it recency bias, Dwayne Haskins, does not help that stink. And so I think there's a bit of an issue there, which may have caused Fields to dip a little bit as well.
Well, I'm going to challenge this, Jim. If it just happened, but it's the top of a heap of trash that's been occurring to accrue that stink, I don't think it's fair to call that recency bias. That's called the continuation of a trend.
Oh, that's fair too. And I mean, it just depends if you're in the camp of there's a justified stink to Ohio State in the quarterback position or not. If you are on that, if you're in that group, then yeah, it's the continuation. If you are an outlier and you say that the perceived stink isn't fair, then you look at the recency bias and what happened with the Washington football team and how I don't necessarily want to say set them back. They just won the division and whatnot, but that was a guy that they had high hopes for, and now they have to reset at that position because he's not the answer. Alex Smith is gone. Now what?
Wait, you don't think Heineken's the answer? Heineken?
Hey,
it's not the answer for beer, and it's not the answer for the Washington football team.
There's worse options for beer, just like there's worse options at quarterback.
Right.
But there's also better options, and that's the thing.
Fair.
What schools have that issue? Like historically bad NFL quarterbacks that had good in college? USC, LSU, we said Ohio State.
I hope
Florida.
Joe Burrow breaks that, by the way. I want the record to show. Like
Florida.
Too, but I mean, and they have done a pretty decent job, despite what some may want to believe that they have done work outside of the draft at the offensive line positions.
Right. Florida's on the one too.
I think
Florida's a good call.
I don't necessarily want to say that there's a definite stink with Notre Dame, but like there hasn't been a great Notre Dame quarterback to come out.
It's been quite a while,
long time. Like I mean, Brady Quinn. He fell in the draft and was nothing. I'm still waiting for Mel Kiper to retire because he declared that if Jimmy Clausen isn't a success in the NFL, that he's retired.
Yeah, that was.
Which Jimmy Clausen wasn't a success at Notre Dame, so why would he be a success in the NFL?
Exactly.
He actually stopped Steve Smith from taking a shot at breaking Jerry Rice's record for 1,000-yard consecutive seasons. The one year he didn't do it was when Jimmy Clausen commanded the helm after Jake Delhomme just before one Cam Newton came aboard.
Yeah,
correct.
That's right. Yeah,
Jimmy Clausen. What a name.
I mean, yeah, there hasn't been a good Notre Dame quarterback to play in the NFL since Montana.
So yeah. Jim, are you trying to say any NFL franchise that had Clausen found themselves in a bit of a pickle?
Oh, well played, sir.
That was good.
I have to admit, I'm plagiarizing myself. I totally wrote that in an article like 9 or 10 years ago.
That's fine. Can you actually plagiarize yourself? I don't think you can.
You borrowed it. Just borrowed it. It's from the archives.
It is your own words.
It's from the archives.
You also credited them as well, so I think you're safe.
Yeah, that's it.
We're
good.
Yeah, I was really hoping that Kyle Pitts fell to the Dolphins.
I didn't. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have happened, DJ,
Special.
because I don't think. Now, granted, at the time I thought I could be wrong because I've also come to find out that Joe Burrow actually campaigned for his previous receiver to be drafted. I didn't think he would have gotten past Cincinnati. But yeah, the Falcons. Listen, I know that our good friend Danny Thompson was clamoring and banging on the table on Beyond the Buzzer for them to draft Micah Parsons. That just wasn't going to happen. Whether right or not, he just wasn't, seen worthy of a number 4 pick. But so they instead had the opportunity to get a generational line pick or a generational receiver. And we're talking in the press about moving Julio Jones. What the bleep did you think was going to happen?
That's why I was saying the Dolphins should stay number 3 because Pitts is special. Like I look at that kid, I see like the next Gronk type who can change the entire offense by his presence because how big he is and his wingspan and all that. I was, looking back in hindsight, they should have stayed at 3.
You're not wrong in the context of this draft. But if Tua tanks and you suck, thanks to the 49ers, have another first-round pick coming to you to help out whoever it is you draft then. And oh, by the way, gentlemen, don't forget, you may not care about the 3rd-round pick that same year, but the year following in 23, they also have a first-round pick as well. Gentlemen, don't be that guy. Don't be like whiny, bitchy Miami Dolphin fan who keeps forgetting you didn't mortgage your future for anybody, but your future is in better care than the president from 24 who's in the Allstate commercials. Okay, that's all I'm trying to tell you, fellas.
Are you in good hands?
Are you in good hands? Yes, you got 2 first-round draft picks.
The only thing I'm happy about with Kyle Pitts is that, and I don't think he would have ever actually gotten to that number 10 spot.
No way.
But I'm thankful that he didn't, because regardless of how good he is, that is not what the Cowboys needed to do with their number 1 pick. And that screamed Jerry Jones. Like, I mean, whether it's Jarwin or the second tight end that with the Cowboys is slipping my mind. They're not as good as Pitts, and I'm not going to say that it wouldn't have been an upgrade at the position. But when you're looking at the broad picture for the Dallas Cowboys, tight end isn't high on your list right now.
But he's special. That's the thing. He's
I'm not denying that. I'm absolutely not denying that. But you have a lot of special guys already on your offense. You have a lot of playmakers on your offense already.
Do you though?
I mean, Gallup can spread the field.
Gallup's good. I like Gallup. I like Michael Gallup. I do like him.
If Zeke ever figures out how to run like he did before he got signed again, and then Dak Prescott, if you give him time, is going to make that offense work.
I think what it is for me though.
You don't need Pitts right now.
No, right. But I think what it is for me, when I saw Kyle Pitts, I'm thinking this could be one of the 3 best tight ends in history of the game. I'm looking at him like in a Tony Gonzalez or a Gronk or something of that ilk. Like, I'm looking at him as a guy that changes an offense in the way Gronk did for Brady, for those years in New England. That's the way I saw him.
I'm not prepared to say Gronk, but he's definitely Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, and that's still great.
That's still amazing. Yeah, you're only Aaron Hernandez.
Without the murder, though.
Of course, right. A little less of the murder, please. Thank you.
Good football, no murder. Thank you.
Yeah, and as I understand, Pitts doesn't have a rap sheet like Hernandez did, so we're already way ahead of things. By the way, here's proof that the forces and powers that be have a sense of humor. Who the hell puts Aaron Hernandez and Tim friggin' Tebow on the same college team? What sense of friggin' humor did that?
Urban fucking Meyer.
I mean, I was more thinking of like gods, but I know that they're, in Gainesville, they kind of think of him the same way.
Some folks think he is a god.
We did some what ifs on 3 Count Thursday the other week. If Hernandez would have, if he wouldn't have committed suicide or in prison, if he would have gotten out, would Urban Meyer have signed him in? What if he would have gotten out? Would Urban Meyer have signed him in Jacksonville?
I don't think so. But you never know. You have to consider it though, considering his past.
Right,
Hernandez. You know something about Hernandez though? That Super Bowl we played the Patriots. The second Super Bowl we played the Patriots. And then it had Hernandez.
Giants?
Huh?
When your Patriots lost to the Giants?
The second time.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What? Tell the truth?
Shut up. No, so I can't finish this stuff. No, so Hernandez scared the shit out of me more than Gronk did at the time.
I mean,
Fair.
he's a
The way
murderer.
they use Hernandez in the backfield, in the slot,
Hernandez stayed healthy more too.
Yeah.
Gronk was so big, he was doing things that defy his body. He has the same problem J.J. Watt does. For a bit
Right.
there, Watt had trouble finishing seasons because he's moving and doing shit that large people in the 290s should not be doing. Now, granted, Gronk isn't in the 290s. We all know who Kyle thinks is the hottie. But,
Oh yeah, you're a Cardinal fan now. No, that's right.
I mean, listen, if you want to pull that punch to come back at me, fine. Between Watt and one of the corners I followed at UCF, Tay Gowan getting drafted there, I mean,
Hey, real quick, Mac Jones, New England.
Yes.
I kind of like it though.
Love it.
Because
the only
less
team I would have
pressure.
appreciated him in is with Big Trouble Bill Belichick in New England. Oh, I didn't mean to offend your coach like that. My bad.
Yeah, watch yourself, buddy. Oh shit! I'm out of character. Hold on.
Yeah,
or are you in character?
Yeah,
I think the Mac Jones pick was great.
I do.
Yeah.
I think that's a great fit. You have Cam back under contract again this year, so you don't need Mac Jones this year theoretically. But if you can get him ready, or if Newton gets hurt, there you go. You bring him in there. I love that pick.
Or perhaps you answer this way for those Michael Vick fans in the house. With Cam at this point, it ain't if, but when, right?
True.
Yeah.
I'd hate to be that guy because I want to see Cam. I want to be able to see Cam 100% one last time to see if what I said about him arriving there from the bargain basement was correct. And to be honest, the fact that even with the damn quarterback getting COVID, with all the opt-outs that were had, whether you want to say they were planned or not for conspiracy purposes so Bill could rebuild, whatever.
Tin hat.
I mean, listen, Alex Jones had much worse theories than that. I'm just saying. But
Gay frogs.
King of the freaking frogs gay. Anyways, no. Gonna draft a good quarterback. It just doesn't work the same. But,
Good.
Say what you will about that. Being 7-9 in that damn dumpster fire and being down to the last or towards the end of the game, literally the last possession against Seattle, and having a shot at beating the damn AFC Championship bound Bills before they ran into Patrick Mahomes II. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Like that's what's incredibly odd about the East. Literally the moment Brady leaves is when the other teams are at the best they've been, minus per pop. Well, actually, even the Jets improved with addition by subtraction because Gase did depart last season. So, this as a collective, this division hasn't improved like this in some time. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.